Hey there, YouTube. This is Eric coming from Kansas again. So I wanted to make a video on another part of our backup power system here. I'm starting to make some more of these, so if you want to continue to see some updates here, just stay tuned. And I think you know how to do that here on YouTube, and look for more stuff. I've got a few videos previously on a few items here. These generator transfer switches here. This one behind me, and this one behind me here too, and some other components. But I want to talk about these battle-worn batteries I got down here, and a few things on those. So I'm gonna switch my camera here, and we'll continue. So I've got a 24 volt system here, nominal. So two over here in parallel and the two over here in parallel. And I think I bought these two first, and then I got these two next. I got these two in the fall of 2019, and I bought two more last year, I think February sometime 2020. So, and then one other thing from Battleborn, they also, if you have a 4,000 watt inverter, which I do, or higher, they recommend you get this current surge limiter. I don't think I've seen anybody have this, even though they have some large inverters, but I went ahead and bought it just to stay in compliance, just in case I had any problems with these batteries. There was a learning curve, but so what this current surge limiter is, it's a CSL. I think there was CSL 300 when I bought it, and I think they have a 500 now. It's the 300 and 500 refers to the amp rating of the device, all the transistors in there and whatnot. But it takes power basically from the batteries in a certain manner, and it to run some of these electronics and the transistors or MOSFETs, whatever you want to call them, but basically allows a soft start of these batteries, so that especially if you have less than I originally bought two the batteries, so that was obviously undersized as 4,000 watt 24 volt inverter, except it's designed to pull at max about 160 170 amps. And even then, a lot more than that for some of the surge conditions. I think it can do 200% of power for several minutes. So that a lot of these low frequency type inverters have that functionality. So these were, when I only bought two, it was definitely undersized. When I bought all four, obviously 200 amp hours is those at a 1C rate, it'll handle what this inverter can pull for the most part. But yeah, so this current surge limiter, when you turn it on, it just makes it so it's a soft start. When you throw the the big DC switch for the inverter here, it's supposed to do a soft start and not make it so that the battery will keep the battery operating instead of the BMS shutting it down due to a short circuit that it may sense with a two match current flowing too quickly. So anyway, that's what that's supposed to do. Now when I bought these two and I hooked it up all right, I thought I got it all right. I'm pretty sure I did, and it's still the battery's still shut down. There's still too high of a surge current to charge the capacitors in this inverter. So unfortunately, I wasn't pleased when that first happened, because the battery shut down. Then I was kind of stuck. And it turns out the batteries, I think one of them actually read a negative voltage. I can't remember what it was. It was like a -5 or -9 volts. And it did that, and I think it wasn't until I took all the loads off the batteries completely, even though this current surge limiter, it does pull a small load, and until I took that off of these connections as well, and then I left the battery for like a day or two, and the BMS just came back to life. The battery showed the right voltage, and I was able to use again. And I had called or contacted Battleborn a time or two about that in between, and they were telling me just you know if you take all the loads off, it'll return to normal, and it did. So and then I bought these two later on, and it actually I think it might have done the same thing, or I think it might have been my fault. I may have shorted out one of the batteries. I think I was tightening this connection or something on these batteries, and my wrench hit this guy right here and shorted out the battery because this was a positive connection here. And again, I thought I was kind of in deep doo-doo there. But that, and I think I've had a couple of other shorts of these batteries. Things happen. But every time something's happened where they've shut themselves off and showed a negative voltage or some weird thing, they've come back to life eventually. And I think that's a testament to Battleborn designing these batteries. They're unless you throw in a fire or something like that, they seem to be pretty bulletproof in terms of being able to stand user errors and things of that nature. So yeah, I mean, they're expensive. I got them for 10% off from Northern Arizona Wind and Sun down Flagstaff, but for some reason I just checked, they don't carry these anymore for some reason, but lots of other vendors do. I got them for 10% off, so about $850 a piece. So it's not a small amount of money on these batteries, but I wanted to get these first. It was my first dive into lithium batteries. For what I'm doing here, this backup power system. I had a bank of lead acids sitting here, 8 6 volts, and I brought them from my old house, and they were pretty bad. I didn't take care of them. When we moved here, I just put them away in a corner and didn't really mess with them, and tried to kind of bring them back to life. But with this inverter pulls, they could not handle it at all. Even like the most they could handle is a couple of lights, and after that they were about they cried uncle pretty quickly. So anyway, I got rid of those. Actually got some money back for them, about 150 $200 in core return, which is kind of nice. But anyway, yeah, these Battleborns have just been fantastic. And actually we bought a cheap pop-up camper here last year, and actually set it up so I can take two of these batteries out and put them in that camper so we can have some power. So that's kind of the reason I went with these, because I wanted to have a good quality lithium iron phosphate battery when I was first diving into lithium, and and then if I want to take them anywhere, I could easily carry them, and they wouldn't they could handle the vibrations and those kinds of things as well in that environment. So anyway, they've been fantastic in that way. And since then, I've also added another battery here from a company called Big Battery. I think they used to be called Tech Direct. It's a cheaper brand. It's made for a stationary system. It's not really made to take on a vehicle with lots of vibrations and shaking and everything. But it's performed flawlessly. I haven't had any problems with it. It just sits right down in the corner. It's another 100 amp hours of lithium iron phosphate. It's got the A123 batteries in it. Nice little voltmeter there. That tells you the voltage of it. It's kind of nice. Another check on the voltage from the solar charge controllers here. So, and it's got a nice little circuit breaker on there in the back. You can kind of see right there. But anyway, back to the Battleborns. So yeah, I've had some user error issues with these things, but they just take licking and keep on ticking. So I'll see a couple of things I wanted to mention on these things. Let's see here. Yeah, so just having these 4 batteries, I purchased this big battery one in November last year, so I haven't had it very long. It's 3 or 4 months now. It's been operating, but I've had the last ones I bought. It's been about a year ago now, so I've had about a year, and I don't notice any degradation at all. And last year, even before I got this big battery, I just had these 4, so just 200 amp hours of capacity, and these things just ran like champs. I know there's a few times where I had a toaster oven going in the kitchen, pulling about 1,000 watts, along with some lights and stuff, maybe a fridge, and sorry, my recording time went out there. So I had a fridge and toaster going in the kitchen, and wife started up a vacuum cleaner in our main living area. Pulling another 1,500 watts or so of a pretty good inductive load, and these things just didn't skip a beat. Of course, near to this thing too, which is nice. But it was pretty cool to see, that kind of an inductive load put on these batteries, and they just kept on going. Didn't see anything happen at all. So I don't have any complaints about these batteries after having them for a year. And if you guys have any other questions about user experience here, let me know, and I can answer them in the comments. But they're pretty much awesomeness if you can afford them. I don't know if I'll buy any more because they're so expensive, because there's so many other options out there now just for stationary power. I'm paying attention a lot to the batteries, the big batteries, putting out this one on the shelf here, but I may get some more of those at some point. But we'll see what happens as funds allow. I mentioned in another video, I got some solar, 600 watts more of solar panels we putting up on the house, and stick around for that too. So anyway, appreciate you watching, and stay tuned. Bye for now.